Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady. Today we have a couple more great news stories, and before we start, I have a question. What can go wrong if Karen pretends to be the owner's daughter? And our first story. No, you're not the owner's daughter. So about a year or so ago, I decided I wanted to go to a bar, so I hit up a friend to go out that night. He had a family thing, but since we know the owner of the place, I figured I'd just hang at the bar until his arrival and have a pool table secured as well by the time he got there. So about 11 p.m., I made my way to the bar, went behind the counter and fist bumped the owner, explaining my friend's coming and just hang out there with him and the only other employee meanwhile. At one point, the owner goes out back to the bathroom and the employee goes to take a phone call outside, so I'm just drinking my beer and checking my phone as I'm in a hold the fort capacity. You know, don't let anyone else behind the counter, since it's opened on the end and there's sort of a hallway leading to the pool tables on the back section, and if people get in behind the counter, well, that's where the booze is. Enter the lady of the hour, about 20, blonde, air-filled head, we'll call her CB for Crazy Beach. I see her shaking her open hand over the counter on my peripheral vision, so I look up thinking it's maybe somebody I know. But no, she just starts berating me. CB, oh my God, quit drinking on the job and service already. We've been waiting here for years trying to flag you down. Me, oh no, I'm not a... CB, cutting me off. And leave that effing phone already. You're supposed to do your job. We want our drinks already. We're paying your salary, you lazy effer. Me, losing patience. Look, kitten, I don't work here. I'm just having a drink, so... CB, cutting me off again. Shut up, I'm the owner's daughter. Just make our drinks or I'll have my daddy fire you. Her friend by her had the most smug face I've ever seen. And at this point, I lost it and broke out laughing my butt off. I turn around and see the owner rushing over with some guy behind him. Apparently, this unsung hero saw the mess get started and went to get him. I grab him by the shoulder and in a panicked voice, me, oh God, owner, this is terrible. Owner, what? What is it? Me, you screwed some lady when you were 10 or so and this girl says she's your daughter. Whatever will you do now? Your wife is gonna kill you. He caught up with what was going on and started laughing. Then I broke down as well. He told the CB and her smug friend to get lost. They sputtered something about her dad, but my friend just turned the counter light towards his own face and said, I own this place. Get the hell out. The two smug princesses stood up and off and just left as my friend walked in. They shoved him aside and then tried to slam the door, only to have it snag one of their purses and throw them both on the curb, without slamming the door, because you can't slam self-closing doors. I've had this happen so many times working at bars. The face change when you whip out your phone and start calling the owner, even if they do know them. And our next story. Mate, this is a gym, not a crash. And it's a public holiday. So I'm typing this while walking home from my gym where this just occurred, and I'm gobsmacked to say the least. Let's set the scene. It's 3 p.m.-ish on a Friday, public holiday afternoon, bank holiday for you Brits, and I'm at the gym doing my cardio because I'm probably going to eat like a wildebeest at the AFL Grand Final party I'm going to tomorrow. As it's a public holiday, the gym isn't staffed. You need to use your member key to get in, and there's a barricade in front of the gym. Pretty obvious there's no staff here. So I've got my headphones in, going hard on the stair machine, when in walks self-obsessed dad, SOD, and his kid, a boy who looks to be about 7. SOD heads straight for the weights in the back of the gym, and this kid follows, trying to get his attention. SOD's having none of it and tells the kid to F off for a bit. So the kid starts roaming around the gym, goes on the bike for a bit, then decides to jump on the stair machine next to mine. Now, I'm a 22-year-old female, not good with kids, so I really don't want to have to keep an eye on this kid while his dad's busy taking gym selfies in the back between reps. But I'm not a total F-head, so when this kid turns the machine up too high and starts looking incredibly close to stacking it, I show him how to slow it down. Kid thanks me and asks me how to use the Netflix on the machine. I tell him it's disabled because there's no staff here, and he's cool with that. So after a slightly more anxiety-riddled workout than I would have liked from having to watch someone else's kid because they're too busy being self-indulgent, I finish up and grab my stuff to leave. And that's when I hear it. "Oh, where do you think you're going?" I turn and I'm face to face with SOD, who looks like his roid rage is about to make him start foaming at the gob. Then this exchange occurs. Me. Home? SOD. "What do you mean you're going home? I need you to watch me son." Me. "Sorry, mate, but that's not really my responsibility." SOD. "Effing oath it is. You work here." Me. "Mate, it's a public holiday. There's no staff here. That's why you had to scan your key at the door instead of at the desk. I don't work here. Even if I did work here, this is a gym, not a creche." SOD. "If you don't work here, then why did you help me son use the machine then, huh?" Me. "So he wouldn't fall off it because you weren't paying attention to him." Kids come back now from effing around with the water cooler and tells SOD, who's still yelling about how I must work there if I know how the cardio machines work, that I don't work there because I don't know how to start up the Netflix. So I take the opportunity to tell SOD to have a good one and bugger off before he starts spewing more vitriol at me. Although I do hear him call me a effing smart butt little B, I don't argue this, as it's actually pretty spot on. Sorry for watching your kid while you were too busy taking child-free gym selfies for your Tinder profile so you can score a chick to root in your banged-up Commodore. SOD, I hope whatever team you barack for gets effing pummeled tomorrow. Good on you for making sure the kid didn't injure himself. The dad's setting a horrendous example on how to treat people, though. And our next story. I don't work here. I'm here for my lunch. Let go of me or I'm calling the police. Okay, so 2 years ago, I worked at my local mall's Poundland. Basically the British version of the dollar store. It was 3 days before Christmas, and if you've ever worked retail, you know what a nightmare that is. In the mall, there's this cute little cafe, which I sometimes like to get my lunch at. It's a bit on the pricey side, so it's a rare treat for myself. I was dressed in my shop's uniform, which was black dress trousers, a black polo, black leather dress, shoes, and a name tag with hair tied up. If long, it resembles closely the cafe's uniform, except for the fact my name tag clearly says Poundland on it, and they wear shirts, not polos. The times I've been there for lunch before, I've had sometimes been mistaken for staff, but people are generally pretty good about it when I explain, but this was not the case that day. So, this day the cafe was, of course, quite busy. I mean, it's the Christmas rush. Everybody's eager to eat like I am. I get a table and sit down, waiting for my order, when I feel a woman tapping my shoulder quite roughly. I actually ended up with a bruise from this, as I tend to bruise easily. "Do you really think you should be taking up a table when people are waiting to be served?" I explained to her that I'm on my lunch break and don't actually work here, but in a shop across the mall. Of course, she doesn't believe me and insists that I'm lying. I point to my name tag, then ask that she leave me alone. This, it seems, was the wrong thing to do, as she then drags me out of my seat by my arm. Now, I'm a tiny girl, 5'2", if I'm lucky. So moving me was easy for her, and she begins to scream for a manager while dragging me from my seat. By now, everyone's staring at us, and I tell her, "I don't work here. I'm here for my lunch. Let go of me or I'm calling the police." At this time, the manager runs over and shouts at her to let go of me. She begins to scream about how the servers here are lazy and how I was taking up a table that should go to a customer. He just looks at me, then her, and tells her I'm a customer and do not work for his cafe. In the end, mall security threw her out and I was asked if I wanted to press charges. By this I mean I was asked if I wanted to get police involved at all. There were no police there as mall security dealt with the issue. I didn't, as I didn't think it was worth the hassle. As an apology, I got a free lunch that day from the cafe, so thanks for the free lunch, crazy woman who can't read a name tag. She left a bruise, so you really should have pressed charges. Physical evidence like that would have made her life quite complicated for a while. Buttbags who would assault a random stranger will effing do it again unless they meet consequences. And our story for dessert. Aisle 19, halfway down, middle shelf on the left side. So I took a day off from work to finish some DIY projects around the house, and of course that means at least one trip to the Big Blue Home Store for supplies. In this case, deck screws. I'm wearing jeans, work boots, and a green t-shirt. I'm standing in the aisle surrounded by thousands of options for deck screws looking for the right one when I hear a demanding, screechy voice, "Excuse me, I need some help." I look up to see a middle-aged soccer mom type holding a large Ziploc bag with a water filter element in it. I don't work here. I don't have time for games. Just tell me where these are. Now, I have no idea where the filters are or if the store even carries them, and I absolutely don't want to get sucked into this lady's reindeer game, so I just say, "The filters are in aisle 19, halfway down, middle shelf on the left side. Just match the numbers and you'll be fine." "Can you show me?" "No, my boss says if I leave here, I'm done. That's it. I'll be fired." "Oh, okay." "Really, just match the numbers on the filters and you'll be fine." And off she goes. I get a box of the screws I need and head for the register. I make the transaction and I'm headed for the door when I hear, "That's him. That's the one who told me aisle 19. I hear the manager reply, "Ma'am, that guy doesn't work here." I just keep going, get in my truck, and head home to finish my deck. It's a good tactic, especially if you know you won't be in the store much longer, so the chances of them coming right back are low. And guys, thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. I'll see you in the next one.